Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, May 5th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SEOroundtable.com over the past week. First up, I have the big May 2017 Google Webmaster Report. So if you were sleeping for the past month and you want to catch up on what's going on with Google, specifically around SEO Webmaster related topics, all you got to do is sorry about that, I don't know what's going on. Read this post. The big things we learned about is Project Owl, which is basically their fake news efforts at Google. We also saw some or several small Google algorithm updates, which we covered and linked to below in this story. The mobile first index won't be launching until 2017. Google doubled the manual actions they sent out year over year, which is pretty big. A lot of things around feature snippets and local tests, so definitely take a look if you want to catch up. There's tons of stuff here that you can catch up on, so feel free to do that. Talking about the mobile first index, Google, John Mueller said in a video this week that Google may decide to release the mobile first index in batches. Specifically, if they see the mobile first index is working well with category X types of websites, maybe WordPress websites or maybe websites in the medical industry. It's probably platform-based, I would think. If they're working well with those types of websites, they will release the mobile first index to work first on specific batches of websites and then roll it out to other batches of websites as they get closer and closer. Again, it's possible, he said. John said, and I guess it's also possible that we'll say, well, this batch of sites work perfectly fine on the mobile indexing, so we'll just switch that over and wait with the next batch until we're certain that they've been able to solve these problems on those websites. So it's very interesting that they might do that. If they do that, of course, that will cause a lot of confusion because it's not going to be a specific date where Google just says, oh, we're switching to the mobile first index. It's going to be a slow process where Google moves some types of websites over and some types of websites not. And then all those bugs that they find in live experiments and so forth that they're going to have to go ahead and fix and so forth. So I'm not sure. Something must be loose. I'm afraid to touch stuff, but I pushed it in a little more. Probably won't fix it, but whatever. Any event, so that's interesting. I'll keep you posted on any of that related to the mobile first index with Google. Talking about Google, Google's fairly upset. No, I'm sorry. Webmasters are fairly upset with the implementation of feature snippets sourcing different images than the content. We discussed this a few weeks ago, where Google was sourcing more images in the feature snippets, but not only that, they were sourcing from different URLs. So let me zoom in a little bit. Take a look at that. You can see that this is from kitspot.com, but the image is from Prezi, which is basically a presentation hosting software. And webmasters are really upset. And I understand why, because they're like, oh, my content's here, but yet you're showing this somebody else's image, or you're showing my image, but you're showing somebody else's content. If you click on either one of them, that will take you to Prezi, that will take you to Kitspot, so they go to the right source. And Google News has been doing this for like 10 plus years. So it's nothing new in terms of Google behavior, but now that webmasters are being impacted directly from it, not just the Google News publishers, it seems like people are more upset. Google AdSense revised their policy where they first disallowed the ability to have a 300 by 250 ad above your content. So this would be a 300 by 250 ad above the content. So this is like a screenshot of what the Google AdSense blog announcing the news about more advertiser options, yada, yada, yada. This is the news about this change where Google's saying you can now place a 300 by 250 ad above your content on mobile devices. That's the announcement, so I basically did was stick a fake ad above it, and you can't even read the content. The first line of the content is here, which would technically be covered by the bar in the Safari browser, so you wouldn't see any content. And I find this to be, okay, this happens, okay, we get it. Google has different sides, and I covered this the other day about talking about how Google and organic Google policies and the paid organic policies at Google just don't jive. And it's really frustrating because what you see is you have the ad team saying do X, Y, and Z, place ads above the content. You have Google's algorithm and organic side saying we're going to penalize you or your site's not going to rank as well because you're not putting the content first. So it's really frustrating to see this. Again, if you are an AdSense publisher, feel free to do that because now it's allowed, but it is what it is. So talking about, whatever. It's frustrating to see, and I've been seeing this for years and years. This is not new. The ad team and the organic team don't talk to each other, and they just got to get on the same page about the core policies, in my opinion. That being said, let's move on. Google's search quality rater vendor, which is called Lead Force. They basically hire and manage the time and pay the vendor and pay the search quality raters. Google pays Lead Force a lump sum, or some type of contract form. Lead Force hires search quality raters, which are independent, non-Google employees, to rate the quality of the search results. Again, we know a lot about this. I'm not going to go into what they do exactly. What happened was that the vendor, Lead Force, slashed the hours by about half. So they used to work 40-hour weeks. Now they have to work 20-hour weeks. And because of that, the news got out. They actually fired somebody because of it. But they slashed the hours. And of course, Paul Haar from Google, was a senior rank lead, loves the search quality raters. They say they help the search engineers figure out which experiments work, what the quality is, and so forth, and help them improve the algorithms going forward. If they go ahead and cut the hours by half, does that mean the search quality will ultimately suffer in the long run? From what I heard behind the scenes is that Google didn't cut any budgets or anything like that. This is something that Lead Force did themselves. I emailed Lead Force for some information. They did not respond to me. I'm not clear why Lead Force went ahead and cut it if Google did not cut their budgets. It might be some legal issues or whatever, but it is what it is, and I don't think this was a Google decision, but I'm not exactly sure. The Google Search Console team is working on new beta features around AMP. It's not exactly sure, but Google's soliciting beta testers to test out a new opportunity for AMP site masters. And it's specifically around AMP UI features in the Google Search Console. We'll see what happens with that. John Mueller said that crossing two different affiliate links, two different affiliate feeds or data feeds into one page doesn't really add value, because you're basically taking content from this source and that source, putting it on one page. Google has that content from that source and this source. Adding it to one page doesn't really add value. You have to add your own value to the page, and that's what John Mueller is saying, and it happens very frequent. People do that a lot. Google has fixed an indexing bug based on a forum thread in the Google forum, Webmaster Forums. Unclear. Basically, John Mueller said, after back and forth, yep, we spotted and fixed some things on our side there. And then the site's back in the index. So it's interesting to see Google has fixed a bug based on a Google forum thread. Google's, who said this? John Mueller said that in response to somebody asking about if Google forgets about links they crawled in a while, and John Mueller said, nope, we have a lot of storage. Google doesn't really forget. And this is a topic we called before, but Google really doesn't forget, but do they forgive? And we discussed this before, but I thought it was interesting that he said it again. Google said, stop trying to optimize for RankBrain. John Mueller basically said, if you're optimizing for RankBrain, that equals making a great site. It seems like RankBrain part is irrelevant to that. Make great sites for your users, folks, not for Google. And Google said this before, you can't really optimize for RankBrain. The concept behind RankBrain, the optimizing for it doesn't really make sense if you know what RankBrain's about. So keep moving forward and forget about those terms. John Mueller again confirmed that validation or HTML validation is not, he said, pretty much doesn't matter for rankings in Google. It does matter for structured data, AMP, and stuff like that, but for rankings and core rankings, it doesn't make a difference, and Google has said that for years. Google is testing a new black U interface. Actually, I've seen this before, but figured I'd cover it again. So here's the black user interface. It's just black and white. This is what the normal interface is, blue, green, and black and white. This is just black and white. And we also saw tests with a little globe icon, which we've seen before as well. Google's mobile AMP, there's a new feature, which is called Fresh and Viral. It's like an AMP carousel with the title Fresh and Viral. Fairly interesting again to see that title there where you see Fresh and Viral. I'm able to replicate it myself. I emailed Google about it for more feedback, but again, no response. Google is testing a new local filter. This is pretty cool. You can actually filter reviews by two categories. One is by type of service, so the rooms, the location, and services. And then it will break down the top reviews by each category, as well as by traveler type, couples, families, going solo, business travelers. Fairly interesting, and it will actually subcategorize them and show you, all right, now for couples, how do they rate rooms, the locations, and service and facilities. Very, very interesting to see Google do that. The local reviews have a tremendous amount of testing going on, and it's very interesting to see that. Google's testing also a reviews tab for the local pack, so the local knowledge panel. So you get the knowledge panel, you see what it looks like here, and you see there's the overview, which is what you typically see, and then the reviews tab. And when you click on the reviews tab, it would actually take you to just to see the reviews, as opposed to clicking reviews from here. You just click it there and it just tabs. So you don't have to go off the website or anything like that. It's right on the interface, which is pretty cool. Google is testing 3 ads in the local pack. So Google launched in August of last year ads in the local pack, which look like this, basically one ad unit above the local pack. But now Google's testing a carousel, so you have just local pack, an ad here, and then this carousel, which is pretty interesting. It's clear, it seems like they're all ads, because it's titled up here as ads, and then the carousel's over there, which is fairly interesting. And then there's the local pack again. So it's fairly interesting to see that. Google also testing a new design for home services ads, and the home services ad used to be a linear format. Now it's just a 3-card format. So here's the 3-card format. This is what it used to look like, where it's just a linear format. And here's the 3-card format, which is the new test, or it's actually live. Almost done. Google AdWords has launched similar audiences for search and shopping ads, so you can use that feature, which is pretty cool. Google was spotted testing a job search portal. We covered this early Monday, but also covered it on Search and Land on Friday afternoon, where if you do a search for like jobs online, some people get a this type of result set where you can actually filter things. It's basically a Google job search engine, maybe part of the Google Hire project, which we saw before. And finally, Google launched the ability to send recipes to Google Home. So you can see here, it says you go to do a search for recipes on your mobile phone, and there's a button called Send to Home, Send to Google Home, and then it says Send to Google Home with a little thing saying you're ready, and you start using it. It's pretty cool. In any event, that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week at seroundtable.com. Again, today is May 5th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.